Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hot Girls and Hockey podcast. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, this is the show where we talk about all things hockey, the what to knows, the who to knows, and everything in between. And today's episode is just going to be a little sit down. I don't know if I want to call it a hockey and chill. Also, sorry that it's a hockey and chill today. I'll explain why there's no actual structured research topic episode for today's episode, even though I said that I would have you guys vote on it last week, but I totally forgot. I'll get into all that. But I just want to sit down and talk shop, especially with the Olympics coming up and with the insanity that's been happening in the hockey world right now. So I just wanted to sit down and talk. I'm not going to do a super long intro because we're just going to be chit-chatting. But I do want to say that I have some coffee instead of my Sharks cup with my insert whatever drink I decide to drink here. It is not morning, but it's pretty damn close to morning right now, and I don't feel like drinking this early. I'm also drinking later on with a girlfriend, so coffee was the move. So grab some coffee, grab some snacks, and let's just get into it. So cheers. So first and foremost, I just want to give a huge thank you to all the love that I've gotten for last week's episode. If you haven't watched it or listened to it yet, it was all about the USA versus Soviet Union hockey game at the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid. And oh my gosh, not saying that it's a ton of views, but it's more views than my episodes usually get. So thank you guys so much. I hope I did the story justice. Still have not watched the movie yet. I'm working on it, okay? I have literally so much going on, which will segue into the next part of today's episode. I know that I've toyed with the idea of changing up my uploading schedule. I know I went from uploading on Tuesdays to uploading on Thursdays. That was one change. And now that actually I'll give some preface to this or background to this. I do this podcast for fun. I don't make money off of it. I don't have any sponsors or anything. I'm nowhere near that big to do any of that. So I do have a regular 9-to-5 job, technically 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. job because I work really early mornings. And my job is very not stressful, but I have a lot that I do in my job. I basically am I do payroll and HR for a store, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want people finding out where I work. But as you can imagine, if you know anything about doing payroll or HR for any kind of business, it is a lot, and we have almost 400 employees plus me that I, as well as this other lady who I'm training under, are in charge of making sure that they're getting paid properly, that they're getting their raises properly, that literally anything kind of payroll or HR related gets done, like LOAs, maternity or paternity leaves, baby bonding, retirement, anything like that. So it's a lot. And so using my brain all day and coming home, I think that's why I love just sitting in and watching a lot of hockey, but I'm not necessarily itching to sit down and always be doing research on episodes every single week. So I'm toying with the idea of doing episodes bi-weekly, but maybe just weekly doing maybe a reel or a TikTok where I just kind of go over what's been happening the past week. Workshopping that, not for sure. For now it'll be weekly, but I'll hopefully have my final conclusion by next week's episode. So just put that on a back burner. Just know that that's a possibility. Nothing's set in stone yet. But yeah, so I just wanted to go over that because I do genuinely love filming these episodes, editing them, researching. I do love it. It just is a lot when you already have a job where you work like 40 hours a week and are using so much of your brain like I am. Oh my gosh. I use more of my brain now than I ever did in any other position that I've had at my job. So just keep that in mind. Nothing's set in stone. I'll touch on it more in next week's episode. Now, let's get into probably the best game of hockey that I've seen this season thus far, other than when Sharks made their comeback against the Penguins a couple weeks ago. And it's again with the Sharks. So Sharks played against Florida Panthers the other day, and it was Matthew Tkachuk's first game back from being out for the season. He got surgery right after the Stanley Cup final, and then he was going through recovery, and so it had him miss like the first like half pretty much of the season for the Panthers. So his first game back was against the Sharks, and as a former Matthew Tkachuk fangirl, and I say former because if you know, you know, I'll call players by their nicknames if I fucking want to. I was so happy to see his shit get rocked, okay? Don't wish any more injuries on this man. I don't wish injuries on anyone, except for maybe a certain Vegas Knights player. But it was just so much fun seeing his shit get rocked by our boy Vinny. And it was a great game overall. Like, we won. Slay. That means that we won against them when we played them at home, and then this one was the one away. We won both. Love my Sharkies. Michael Misa was there too. Didn't get a ton of playing time, I don't think, but he was there regardless. And you can always bank on the Panthers to have really good fights. I can always bank on Panthers and Bruins to have good fights, as well as Rangers. But what I didn't bank on, and it's what everyone's fucking talking about, is a goalie fight. Sharks haven't had a goalie fight since 2020, what I've been told. And oh my god, Nedeljkovic. I love you, guy. Love you, man. He's so awkward, but I love him. Oh my gosh. That was just insane. So if you haven't seen it, hopefully this doesn't go shaken down. I kind of want to put it right next to me, up here on the screen on the video version. But also, you can just go onto the Sharks Instagram or TikTok page, and they have plenty of clips of it. But Vinny got decked into the boards, and then I don't know if it was by Rodriguez from Panthers or what, but then literally it was right behind the Sharks net, and everyone just started going at each other, and then fucking Ned gets out of the crease and goes and starts throwing hands, and then that triggers the Panthers goalie Barbakov. I don't know. I know it starts with a B. I'm gonna call him Bob, and that just triggers Bob to get all the way from his side of the fucking ring all the way to where Ned is, and then they drop gloves, and I don't think many punches landed. Many swings were thrown. Goalie fights is just so funny because they have so much fucking padding. You really have to like stretch yourself to try to like punch the other goalie, because of just how much padding is on these guys. But needless to say, Ned won. I say that just because Bob went down on the ice first. But I don't know exactly how many punches landed. Neither one of them looked too like beat up afterwards. But yeah, it was great. The kids had a great time on the bench. The kids meaning Macklin, Will, and Michael. They are just like screaming, all giddy. I think like it just was really good for team morale to have that happen. And oh my gosh, what I would have given to be there. Oh my gosh, it looked like such a good game. And I haven't seen like a good fight happen this season so far, at least at the games that I've gone to in person at SAP. It's because a lot of refs have been just breaking them up. My man Sam Dickinson, let him fight. Okay, he's like itching to fight. It's a really funny fucking photo. I'll put that up here on the video version of him and another Panthers player. You don't know, can't remember his name. Just looking at the goalie fight, it was just so fucking funny. But yeah, so love that. That has been like on my mind constantly since it happened. I've shared it with all of my friends and I told them like, guys, this never happens. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun to watch and I was happy that we won. And just happy that we're maintaining a playoff spot, honestly, as a Sharks fan. And I don't want to get my hopes up too much just because it is only January and we have until April when the season ends. But I'm trying to stay realistic, but I also want to be optimistic. I think a really good shot at playoffs and I'm very, very excited about that. I do think still that like Colorado might have it in the bag this year just because Panthers are not doing very well. So I don't foresee a three-peat. Also, I don't really want them to win again for other reasons, which you might know if you've been paying attention to hockey news. But I can see Colorado at least making it to the finals. I'd say maybe Colorado and, I'd say Colorado or maybe Tampa. And this would be a curveball, but it could happen. Colorado and Islanders? Who knows? It's a little too early to be thinking about the Stanley Cup, but it is never too early to start thinking about the Winter Olympics because they are literally happening next month. And so with that, I want to know, what are your guys' predictions for the Olympics? Who do you think is going to take home gold, silver, bronze? I will say this. I do think Canada might have it in the bag, but I wouldn't be upset if Sweden maybe got a little action there too. One, because Wenberg's on it, and two, because their team is just stacked. Canada's team is, oh my god, just hella stacked. Obviously, you got Macklin, McKinnon, McDavid, Crosby. Insane. And that's not to say that the American team isn't stacked either. Even though there are a couple players on there that I'm like, I'm kind of confused why you're on this team, but whatever. I will never wish ill on Team USA. If they got gold, oh well, whatever. I think they'd do good with bronze or silver. But that's just my take on it. As for the other sports or categories, whatever, in the Winter Olympics, I'm very excited to actually fully watch everything. I usually only watch, I'm the bitch that usually only watches figure skating because I'm a stereotypical, like, very feminine girl, and I'm like, ooh, pretty outfits, ooh, spins and flips and tricks. And I loved the movie Ice Princess when I was little, and I became really hyperfixated on the Nancy Kerrigan and oh my god, what's the other bitch's name? Tanya Harding whole scandal thing that happened back in the 90s. If you don't know anything about that, I don't know. It's not really hockey related, so I don't think I'll ever make an episode about it. But basically, they were Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan were two figure skaters back in their hit their peak back in the 90s, and they were really good skaters. But Nancy Kerrigan was kind of seen as more like an ice princess, you know, all-American girl, got lots of sponsorships and stuff. Tonya Harding was seen as more of like the like more tomboyish, not as like hyper feminine, but was a great skater, and she's one of the very few that's landed a triple axel. And they were like pitted against each other a lot in competitions and just in the media, because they were around the same age. They're two really, really great skaters, medal winning skaters, championship skaters. And there was one day, and I can't believe they got this on video too, where Nancy Kerrigan was practicing. I don't know what it was for. It was for maybe like Winter Olympics, or it was for championships or something like that. And she got, she's leaving the arena, and then she got whacked in I think it was like above her ankle, but below her knee, like that area, like kind of like your calf area on the front. She was whacked really hard by somebody, in that area, and it took her down, and she ended up having to, I don't know if she had to get surgery or not, but she ended up not being able to skate for a long time. And everyone thought that Tonya Harding was behind it all, and it turns out that it was Tonya Harding's husband, Jeff Gillooly, who hired or not hired, he had this friend who he told to go and do that for him, and I think what I can't remember from exactly what happened from this case was that Tonya knew about it, like afterwards. She knew that her husband's friend was one who did it, and her husband was one who organized it, but she didn't give that information to police or to anyone. She like kept it to herself. And so she was just like withholding this valuable information, which led her to being, I think she was stripped of a medal, and then she was banned from figure skating on like the national level. And I don't know where she is now. I don't know where either of them are now. Don't keep tabs on them. But if you ever want to see a really good movie, I, Tonya, where Margot Robbie plays Tonya Harding, great movie. So yeah, all this to say, I'm very excited to be keeping track of all the sports, hopefully, that I can, but mostly hockey for this year's Olympics. And now in some hockey, but also hyperfixation news, we have officially the announcement for the 7th book in the Game Changers series, Unrivaled, which is the sequel to The Long Game, which was a sequel to Heated Rivalry. We know her, we love her, maybe we're sick of hearing about her, but I'm not sick of hearing about her. So I'm very excited for that book to come out. I already pre-ordered it and everything. I'm just been consuming so much. If I'm not consuming actual hockey, I'm consuming Heated Rivalry content, whether that is Hudson walking in fashion shows in Milan, or Connor going on Seth Meyers and talking to him, or Francois going on Andy Cohen's show and telling us that's none of our fucking business who he's dating, or even fucking Robbie going on Empty Netters. Like, I can't get enough of these guys. I truly can't, and I don't think I ever want to, especially Hunter and Connor, just because they're just such eloquent speakers when they do interviews. If you want to watch some really, really good interviews, there is a podcast called Shut Up Evan, and Connor was on it, so his episode's been out for a while, and then just recently they put out Hudson's interview. They did like a 2-parter for his, I guess, because they talked a little bit too long, but they're just so well spoken, and what I would do to just be able to sit down and have a conversation with these guys, because I have so many questions that I have yet to like see interviewers ask them, because a lot of the time, like, don't get me wrong, it's like, it's fun to ask, oh, but you didn't know any Russian? Oh, what's your glute routine? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, how is it filming spicy scenes? But we've heard it all before, and I would just like to know them more on a level not related to the work that's kind of skyrocketed them to the level that they're at right now. But I am just a girl. And I fear I might never ever get to talk to them, which is fine. I can consume their media from afar, and I will love it and consume it, absorb it like a sponge. But yeah, so 7th book, super excited about. I just love all that we getting fed content wise. And yeah, I feel weird talking mostly about like this like fake hockey universe, is because I love actual hockey so much too. Actually, last thing before I go, I was talking to the Hockey Princess about wanting to get more into college hockey, because it's an avenue that like I know a little bit about, like literally the bare minimum, and I really only know about it just because of looking at prospects when the drafts come up and seeing like what teams are coming from, if they do come from like a collegiate team. But yeah, I want to get more into other leagues other than the NHL, and I'm slowly getting like, you know, trying to keep up with the PWHL as well, which is actually a little bit easier just because they don't have a ton of teams and they're so new. But I do want to really get into college hockey, like male and female college hockey. So if you want to drop in any teams, or just let me know of any teams that I should look at, or games specifically, players, or whatever, you can, on the video version, just let me know in the comments, or you can always DM the Instagram page for the show, which is at Hot Girls Learn Hockey, and I will take them into account and I will go and I will look. But with that being said, that will end today's episode. Sorry that it's not a whole, you know, scripted kind of researched one. I do have an idea for the next one, and I think it will work out very well because it's not too much research, but I'm very excited. And I will post about it you know, before the episode actually comes out next week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please make sure to give the show a good rating. You can follow the show's Instagram page, like I mentioned before. It is at Hot Girls Learn Hockey. That's where I post any updates, if there's going to be any schedule delays or polls, or just letting you know what's going on show-wise. And you can also follow the show's TikTok page. It's at HGLH Pod. I repost a lot of heated rivalry edits on there, as well as just regular hockey edits. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.